Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? My name is Jennifer. We're here to talk about everything we want to. Oh, please. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? So, look, we got 26 on the board. I think what's going on out here, and the fact that I told you that this was gonna happen in 2020 is incredible. The fact that I told you guys at the beginning of the year that all this was gonna happen, extraordinary gift that God has provided. Really extraordinary. I don't hate you, my kids. I wish you peace. But you're working with people that are leading you into directions that are not right for you in any way. They taught you how to do drugs. They taught you how to go against your mom. They taught you how to go against what's right and told you that wrong was right. These people are all in a lot of trouble with the law. And the things that they asked you to do against your own mom is going to put them in prison longer than, definitely than what they thought. Because, well, that's their own stupid. All the hardships that you caused for a woman just trying to be a mom, God watched all that. He watched every bit of it. And you laugh and do you know how many kids out there wish that they would have had a mom like me? I'm just saying, like, you can say whatever you want to, but there's a lot of kids out there that wish that their mom would have gotten sober. They wish they would have fought even though they had broken back and issues with their own selves. They still made, which is what a mom is supposed to do. It's not like I did anything I wasn't supposed to. As your mom, I'm supposed to care for you. As your mom, I'm supposed to try to fucking go beyond what I think I'm supposed to. And they did all those things. And you spit in my face and you treated me like shit for it. It doesn't make a bit of sense whatsoever. At all. But God watched how hard I was willing to work for you and how little you were willing to do for me, or to even be responsive to the fact that I loved you so much. I was more interested in making sure that you guys were okay than taking care of myself. The sad fact is that you took a good person and put them through a hell and then complained to God that your life wasn't fulfilled. Why would you think that God would bless you with keeping your friends and family alive and out of prison when they're doing things that aren't right? And you're a part of it. So why would you think that you're not supposed to be suffering in any way? Why would you think that all of the reasons that you gave as to why I shouldn't be a mom to my kids, but it was okay for you to make them go through suffering? You know you did. Don't lie or try to threaten my children to lie for you. You know you used them, abused them, turned them into slaves for you and babysitters for the kids that you had, that you wanted to pretend that you were rich with. But in true existence, you couldn't stand being a parent, but you need the attention because you're so dark. It takes that many others of you to make you feel like you're worth something. And even with that, those children look at you like you ain't worth a fuck, but they don't have any choice but to put up with you. That to me is not a winning team. That is a forged and forced team that is headed for destruction. Maybe your kids will get out and they'll get away with the help of my kids so that they don't have to suffer the way that mine did. Maybe you'll learn that holding people back, good people, hurt you in the process. The saddest thing in the world is for somebody to tell me that they believe in God while talking a child into going against their mom. The saddest thing in the world is to watch a mother tell me that she believes in God and then do everything that she can to make sure that your life is swarmed with nonsense. I don't hate any of you, and I don't have to wish you any harm, because karma, well, she's my best friend, and she watched everything that you did. I get to go be happy because even in this moment, I'm telling you to sober up and quit doing stupid things. It's just adding to the nonsense that you're going to have to be going through. And if you haven't noticed, the more embraced I become with God, the more the devil gets to touch you and create problems in your lives like you did for mine. In ways that you can't pay to get stopped, and you can't know ahead of time to swerve and miss the pot. You have to soak it up. And so do all the friends that you tried to hide and say didn't have a hand in treating people differently than respect. Your personal vendetta has cost millions of people a dime, a time, and a mime. And you're going to have to pay for that. That's your problem, not mine. I don't owe you anything. I don't even owe you my time. I moved away from that motherfucker and I'm never going back. But I will take my grandparents' house back. You don't get to have that. And the money that you stole from me and the amount of time in jail that I had to spend while you pretended to act like I didn't have a right or permission to spend, and you know that I did. I can say that to your face 1,000,000 times. And if I'm standing in your face, all you can do is shake, knowing that I'm telling the truth. And that you committed the crime, not I. That you're stupid. Remember, you raised me. Did you think I wouldn't be able to see through your shit? Huh? What part did you expect me to be when you put me in a position to know everything? Have the authority to reach in your brain and hear the secrets that you have been keeping. Treating somebody like shit who loves you, who has dropped lifetimes for you, isn't cool. I don't hate you. I forgive you. I feel sorry for you. Great grandma must have been a winner. You keep talking about how she beat you and how she hurt you and how you wish that your mother was different. But you did it to your own kids and your grandkids. You even turned one of your great-grandkids into the state custody because he was crying for his mommy. So I don't pity you. I don't feel sorry for you. And I don't have any desire to have anything to do with you. I think the fact that it's more important for you to be shown to the world like you're it, instead of making sure that your kids are legit, is a sin against you, not me. I'm proud to be absolutely nothing you've ever wanted. Because if there was anything about me that you could actually fucking want, it would probably be negative. So that means I'm a really good person then. And I'm okay with that. You think I don't remember the times of you sitting there and all the different churches that you put me in, talking to all the church members of how bad of a kid I was, how much you wish Sandy wouldn't have done what she did, and you had to cover it up. I don't know what y'all did or what you think you got covered up, but I just want you to know, when you beat me up, God decided to flashlight your asses and let everybody know what was up. So be prepared. If it's an embarrassment, well, that's not my fault. You should have let me be able to go live my life. You didn't want me, okay. I didn't fight you on that. I let you push me away. I let you tell me I wasn't okay. I let you tell me I was worthless. And I did what you asked me to. And I left you alone. And you are still trying to fuck with my positions, trying to bring me dispositions. As if I'm supposed to bow down to your services or act like you're important to my existence. There's nothing about you that I desire, that I don't have of my own. You see, God did me a favor. He pushed the negative away and let me roll with the positive. So all the skills that you might have been able to provide that would help me along the way, I've still got them. Get to retrain them, to build them my way. And rather than only being able to share them with the four of my glory, God gave me a platform to share them with everybody, even those I've never, ever, ever been in the same room with. And they love me. Isn't that funny? I remember the days when you complained about wiping the ass of the man who kept you in class. I remember the days when you complained that you didn't have this and you didn't have that. But it was okay for the man who kept stroking out in the garage because he'd been working too hard to make him work a little more. And you didn't understand why you became too little for him to observe. So much so, he moved 2 generations to find the beauty of life, a girl named Sarah. That's where your envy, anger, and dismantled ideas came from. Hardest is when you poison the man and he fell out of love with you because of it. It had nothing to do with me or my child or us being more favored than you. It had to do with the decisions you were making and why love a woman who doesn't love you. He told me about you at Twin Lakes, Monticello. He let me know that you were a shrew and that it was important to not be like you. Take what was good and leave all the rest. Don't feel petty when you turn out the best. It caused a lot of distraction for a child you could have been proud of. Don't be complaining to God because you didn't get enough. He gave you plenty. You churned it out. Look at me now. I knew your fancy. False teeth and all. I made it places you never thought I'd go. Higher than you could ever grow. And it's only because you chose the wrong roads that led me to the right ones. You should have been proud of that too. But instill more damage I had to ensue. Your loss, not mine. I'm making legions of time. I'm making a difference. And I'm doing things I feel is my purpose. So Miss Helen, Sandy, and all your friends and buddies, family members, and society that I've never met going along with all this nonsense. Bringing people closer to God is the purpose, is the plan, and it is becoming that. I I think in this period, ma'am, you can say that I've won this game. You started playing with a life you had no right shifting. I remember at an early age when you had your hysterectomy, even then, you couldn't get a neighbor one to help you with anything. Your daughters, though living in the same house or right down the road, said no. And the granddaughter that you hated and loathed, she cared for you, sweetly, endearing. For 2 weeks, I learned how to cook, clean, and make sure that Grandpa had everything he needed. You never once thanked me, but I was okay with that because I felt like maybe you were proud of me, and that's all I wanted. That's all I ever wanted, was for you to be proud of me. And I realized a long time ago that that would never be. What you haven't realized is that I don't need your permission to be. And I'm not desiring for you to approve of anything. You're not in control anymore. You never were. It was always God's move. See, the things you put me through made me stronger. Stronger than I ever thought I could be on my own. And I'm grateful. I'll never hate you. I used to be mad at you, and I used to cry and wonder why. And now, I don't have to worry or care anymore. You worked so hard to make me look so bad, just to stab me in the back and everybody see really what it is that I had to work with when it come to family. People's true colors come out when they don't get their way. After a certain amount of time, people really start to become who the fuck they are. And you thought everybody was blind. No. People didn't understand why. And a lot of them stood the fuck back and thought maybe they were missing something. They didn't see. People even felt like they weren't smart enough. And they were missing something. Because they watched you do what you did and helped you provide the situations of absurd for me to walk through. And then claim, why aren't you there for your kids? You took them from me. And you made sure that I couldn't see them. You tried to turn them. You tried to turn everybody against me, all because you were jealous of me. I came from you, even if you didn't want to accept me. Your blood and my blood, they are alike in some ways. So for you to be jealous of me was the wrong way. That again is not my fault. That is yours. You mishandled your time with me. That's not my fault. It's not my problem. And I'm tired of carrying the guilt or wondering what I did that was so wrong you couldn't love me. Your sorriness provided a baseline for me. I will always be grateful for. I can see that I meant for more than just a thing in your captivity. Go find yourselves. I can't help you do it. You wanted the flashlight turned off, remember? So I get to go other places and use it instead. Oh. I juicy Jade that motherfucker all over the place, and you know it. In every way, I gave you everything I had. And you mistreated it, misconstrued it, and thought that you could always do it, and I'd always put up with it. But I didn't. I learned from it, and I moved on from it. And I'm going to help others be able to put people like you down until there's no more people like you left to have to worry about, shift, or reframe in any way. I hope you enjoyed your time of terror. It's time for heaven to take a stand and dismiss those who've lost their right to authoritize anything in the light. The trouble that you guys are in because of what you did to me, just with God, is enough to not want to be in your vicinity. Karma's a real thing. She even scares me. I don't fuck around with people's shit, man. I don't appreciate when people fuck around with mine. Anything and everything that you've done was wrong, and you know it. Again, I say, I don't need you to love me to live my life right. I don't need you to be a part of my life for it to go the way I like. And I'm not yearning for a position to have to listen to your nonsense anymore either. It's one thing to keep a house clean. It's another to keep your soul clean. I think you got a lot of work to do. And I think it's not my place to help you through it. You had that opportunity and you abused it. Shame on you for thinking that you could do what you did to me and get away with it. And shame on you for thinking that I would love you even after you did it. But you didn't care. You didn't want my loving. You wanted what I was given, why people were loving what I was given. Too busy looking elsewhere. See, you taught me how to sew. You taught me how to clean. You taught me to read between the lines and realize not everybody is kind. You taught me that the first person you should be looking at to treat you incorrect is the one that thinks that they can get away with it the best. You taught me that even the most subtle of poisonings can have effect enough to supply receipts that you're doing something you shouldn't be. What you did to Grandpa, you're gonna have to pay for that too. 24/17. What you did to me, you're gonna have to pay for that. I'm not your keeper, and I'm not responsible for your dealings. And me warning you is just letting you know, I don't need you, I don't love you, I don't want you. Your character flaws are so much so that unconditional love is too much for you. You pushed it away, and I'm okay. with letting you sit in the rain. There's a rainbow up ahead, but can you touch it? Will you touch it? Or will you always remain insane? Not my fault, not my problem. You're the one in dismay, and I'm the one in the healing. I don't hate you. I don't look down on you. And I don't waste my prayers on you. Why should I? It was too much for you to do that for me. And your destiny has already been set because of what you did to me. You could have at least prayed for your granddaughter, but you didn't. But I prayed for you, and I helped you pull through. Not just once, every time you needed someone. Clock that. There's receipts that show that. I haven't got any room for Daniel either. The man who, to this day, doesn't take very good care of the kids he has, but found it important to make sure his sister couldn't have. The man who thought that it was okay to treat his sister insane, but asked God to help him have another child with a woman who treated him so poorly. It was almost like I was watching instant karma as he's pulling my kids away and causing problems for my life. The woman he loves is having children with other men by fucking in the bed that they share. Poetic justice, it seems. All of you are lonely, dealing with shit that you shouldn't want to be. But let's go be like society and crave that which hurts thee, instead of finding what pleases thee. 21:17, 27:28. You act as though I'm supposed to want you in some way or feel bad because you pushed me away. It made me a better person. Had I stayed, I'd still be drugged up today. Maybe not even get an education. Who knows? I say drugged up, and yet I wasn't on drugs. Not the street kind. According to you, though, weed is the most horrible thing in the world. Well, what about those Xanaxes and Valiums and Klonopins that you were taking and the pain pills that you were taking, Helen, Sandy, Daniel? All of them prescriptions. I just wasn't allowed to have mine. Do you think that the cops didn't notice that every one of you have prescriptions? So they didn't understand why your plan was to make sure that I couldn't have mine. I solved this case with the help of many. Some names I'll mention in time, and others I will keep just in my mind. I was never alone in this situation, I need you to know. Maybe God won't leave you alone in the repentance of your positions. Or maybe He will. But don't come asking me for help. That time has expired as well.